You would think after all the slander he got, he'd be out there shooting it like Curry. What's good, Joe? What's good, Real Talk Squad? This is Miles, and you're listening to Real Talk with Miles Johnson, where you know I always keep it real. Y'all see the new setup? I got my Iverson jersey here. I got my Eagles stuff. I got my Phillies stuff. I got my Q stuff. I got even got my lightning bolt right here, right? So I got everything set up. It's still some things that were to come with this whole setup of this podcast, but I'm looking forward to all the great content that we about to make. And we are 2 weeks away from the NBA season starting. So we got NFL, we got the MLB playoffs starting, we got, NBA starting in a couple of weeks. So it's going to be a lot of content for y'all in all sports. And if y'all haven't yet, check that link in the description. It's going to be a link to the application if you want to join the Real Talk Squad. And it's also going to be links to my social media accounts on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Find me all there. And let's get right into this episode. Now, y'all seen Tyler's episode. Talking about Ben Simmons. His first game back as a Brooklyn Net, but first game against the 76ers. Now, it was a preseason game, so it didn't count. But this showed me a lot. What this game showed me was that I don't know what the heck Ben Simmons was doing for a year and a half, but his game has not changed. You would think after all the slander he got, he'd be out there shooting it like Curry. No, he's still not even shooting shots. He's still bricking free throws. He's still bricking fadeaway shots. I mean, now I see why you don't be shooting shots. That fadeaway shot that you shot over Korkmaz, I mean, you didn't even hit the rim. The rim. So, I mean, I don't know what you've been doing this past year and a half. You had a whole entire season to get your mind right, get your body right. Now, I will say, you had a back injury. That was a legitimate back injury. I'll give you that. But it doesn't equate to you still not being able to shoot the ball. And just like how this is the same Philly Ben Simmons in Brooklyn, it's kind of like the same culture in Brooklyn as it was in Philly when Ben Simmons was there. Except for the year that Jimmy Butler was there. And Jimmy Butler was the one guy that challenged Ben Simmons and was like, you need to improve. You can be so much better than you are right now. The reason why I say that Brooklyn is very similar to Philly in how their organization is set up is because who's going to hold Ben Simmons accountable for not shooting the ball? And people say, oh, he doesn't have to shoot the ball. He can pass. He can rebound. He can steal. He can do a lot of things on the court, which is true. But when push comes to shove, at the end of a game, if you have Ben Simmons on your team, every team in the league is going to do hack as Simmons. They're going to do hack as Simmons, and until Ben Simmons can hit over 50% of his free throws, he will be unplayable at the end of games. So if you're in a close game, maybe down 7, up 7, down 5, up 5, you can't have your third best player on the court. So you then traded all these assets to get Harden, and then you trade some of those, then you trade Harden to get Ben Simmons. It's like, it's you're not getting your value for Ben Simmons if you can't play him at the end of games. So when I heard Steve Nash almost a week ago say, I don't care if he ever shoots, I was like, have you lost your mind? Like, okay, Steve Nash, I get that you're trying to let off the pressure from Ben Simmons, but that's the wrong way to do it. Because by enabling him and by making him comfortable, you're making him realize, you know what? I don't have to shoot the ball. I'm content with rebounding, passing, stealing. but I don't really want to improve my game. I don't want to be uncomfortable. And like I've always said, if you want to be an all-time great in any profession, you got to be uncomfortable. And Steve Nash telling the media that Ben Simmons doesn't need to shoot is enabling him to be comfortable. Because clearly we see the guy does not like shooting the ball. Or maybe not shooting the ball, but he's a guy that's very aware of what other people think of him. He's fragile-minded, but Ben Simmons is. So it's going to be a long season for him if he doesn't get his shot fixed, because you're going to hear boos and boos and boos. I think he might hear boos from other teams in the league, not just the Sixers. I wouldn't put that past the league, because to not play at all like last season, like that's unprecedented, and that's pretty wild to do. So if you're going to waste 1 year of your career, you better be coming back swinging. And he'll dunk the ball. He'll do the things that he did before. When he was like a rookie, when he was early in his career in Philly, that got him to this point. But if he wants to elevate to that next level, he's got to have a shot. Like, we're not picking on Ben Simmons because he doesn't shoot. We're picking on him because we know how great he can be if he does shoot. That's what people are missing. And I think that's what Ben Simmons is missing as well, is that he thinks people are coming at him, which some people are, and I have as well. But at the same time, it's like, yo, people see your potential, and people wouldn't be getting on you if they didn't see how great you could be if you just put it all together. So Steve Nash, he's giving me a lot of Brett Brown vibes, because Brett Brown, he enabled Ben Simmons not to shoot. And Ben needs a coach like Ty Lue, like Monty Williams, heck, Doc Rivers. Like, he needs a coach that's really going to challenge him to be like, no, you're not going to not shoot the ball. And never mind a coach, he doesn't have a player on the Nets that I think he respects to be like, you know what, you have to shoot the ball. I think he respects KD, but KD isn't that type of guy to go up in his face and tell him he needs to shoot. KD isn't a leader. So there isn't one leader on this Nets team, and that's another reason why I'm not scared of them. I'm not scared of those Nets, because at the end of the day, push comes to shove, who's going to lead that team to a championship? KD has never done it in his career. Kyrie has never done it. Ben Simmons definitely hasn't done it. So unless they prove us all wrong this season, defy all odds, after KD, Kyrie won it out, I don't see this Nets team going real far. I see a second round exit at best. But when you talk about the Sixers, on the other hand, ooh, they look good. Now, they beat the Nets. It was preseason, but they beat the Nets without James Harden, without Joel Embiid, without PJ Tucker. So they were down multiple starters, and they still beat the Nets that had Kyrie playing, that had KD playing, had Ben Simmons playing, and a guy in Tyrese Maxey. He's going to be an all-star this year. 20 points, 14 minutes. He just be snapping. And in his third year in the league, we're going to see if he makes that another leap. Now, look, from his first year to his second year, he was a candidate for most improved player of the year. He was just flat out amazing. His shooting splits, almost 40% from the field from three, almost 50% from the field from two, or just from overall. A high free throw percentage. This guy has all the tools, right, of being a great player for the future, for being that point guard for the future for the Sixers. And I'm just excited to see what this season will bring for Tyrese Maxey specifically, because that boy got that dog in him. And let me apologize to Tyrese Maxey, because in the past, I did say, when Donovan Mitchell, the trade rumor was going around, I was like, y'all got to trade Tyrese Maxey for Donovan Mitchell. You can't give that up. You can't let that go. But then when I was in Philly this summer, I went to the Rump Classic. It was in North Philly, and I was able to see Tyrese Maxey. And Tyrese Maxey and the Morris twins were there too. But let's be honest, everybody came there to see Tyrese Maxey play some pickup basketball. And that whole arena was filled, was flat out filled, right? And Tyrese Maxey is a fan favorite in Philly. So I want to apologize to Tyrese Maxey because I didn't realize not only how special he is to Philly, but his potential as well just keeps on going. He could end up being an all-star this year. And I said before in the past, it might take him, 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years to be a superstar. I don't know if you can wait that long, with Embiid kind of not being at the end of his prime, but, he don't got too many years left. Let's just be completely honest, bro. He got some lingering, knee issues and all that. So he got probably 3 years at the top of his game right now. But I'll say if Tyrese Maxey becomes an all-star this year, I wouldn't put it past him that he could be a superstar in the next year or two. So he averaged 17 points this year. I could see him averaging 22 this year. And if Tyrese Maxey becomes an all-star and averages 22 points or more per game, James Harden can take a back seat because we won't need the Houston James Harden. We'll just need the Brooklyn James Harden that was facilitating. Now, he'll still need to get 20-plus points. But if he gets 20, 10, and 7 on good efficiency, we in good position. And right now, talking about where I rank the Sixers in the East, we got the Bucks, and then I got my Sixers. I think the Celtics gonna take a step back. Ain't nobody worry about no Heat. I am a little bit that the Cavs could end up, making some real noise. They could end up being a top 3 seed in the East. But I want to let you know. I want y'all to let me know who y'all think about this Sixers team. How far do you think they'll go this season? I think that they'll at the very least be an Eastern Conference championship. They'll be in the Eastern Conference Championship. Guys like they picked up PJ Tucker, Daniel House, the guy from the G League, Julio Champagnie, right? D'Anthony Melton. Daryl Morey did a phenomenal job this offseason, and depending on how this Sixers roster plays, he can end up being the executive of the year. So kudos to Daryl Morey. Kudos to Tyrese Maxey, the Sixers, and let's go. Let's see what they're going to do in a couple of weeks. And let me know how you feel about Ben Simmons. You feel like he's going to turn it around? You feel like he's going to end up shooting this season? How do you feel like him and the Nets will go? This is Miles from Real Talk with Miles Johnson, and I'm out.